Alright guys, welcome to this week's episode of the ToadCast. I'm here with Blake, aka Yummels,
Hey, pals.
and special guest, my little man, Luke Yogzula-Vandriest.
Well, I was introduced as a special guest. I did that to you last time, didn't I, by accident?
Now you're just my little man.
No, I think I introduced you last time as special guest. You've been bitter about it the whole week.
No. You said that you loved
last
him.
week was very different.
No,
you said you loved him, and
Yeah,
he
I
did
do
not
remember
return the
that.
affection.
I remember that, and I think it's
Maybe
I think
you were
the
special
reason,
guest of his heart.
The reason I think I put all of that frosting on is because I started off with and special guest John Jaguar Lusky. Then I'm like, oh, I just said special guest, and when I heard his feelings, I better start sprinkling it on top now, so that he might forgive me.
I don't remember right now. I'm pretty sure it was just, and John Jaguar Lusky, light of my life, something like that, you know.
Yeah, I do remember when you just didn't even return any bit of affection to me, and that was quite hurtful.
Anyways, special guest, Yogzula-Vandriest here with us in the studio. And now returning co-host, Blake, a.k.a.
The co-host
Yume.
Hello.
All right. So, how was everybody's day today?
I'm wonderful. My day was great.
My day was A-OK, friend. How about you? I'll tell you what I got today. No, let me stop.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you
I don't
what
really
the
care
special
how
thing
your
you
day
wanted
was.
to talk about is. You brought up earlier.
Well, I've got myself a special little treat for myself today, and these are cute little things you can find in any state store. You ever hear about Zips? Z-I-P-Z at the end? Zips with a Z at the
No.
end?
Is that a
No, I haven't.
trademarked name?
Yeah, I believe it probably is, because that's the name of the product. They're called Zips, fellas. And you can find these at your local state store. They're plastic wine glasses that come with wine already in them. They come in a pack of 4. And all you got to do is unzip the top. There's a lid on these things. You pull it off, and you get yourself a portable wine glass. You can open up anywhere and just enjoy your wine. On the go, on the move.
I have seen those.
You've seen these before.
I have never seen those, and I think that sounds horrifically lazy.
Well, I've got myself some Cabernet Sauvignon. Sauvignon.
So what you're saying is you have like the equivalent of like a Ziploc bag with wine in it? Is that what
No,
you're
John,
saying?
this is much more advanced than that.
A
because
wine glass that's made of plastic with
this
a
allows me
Ziploc
to take.
top.
I can go anywhere I want. Just take one of them at a time. I don't have to take a whole bag around with me, like a colostomy bag full of wine. I just have.
But that's like a box of wine.
Well, no, it's not. Because you take a single
So it's
glass
like
out.
8 boxes of wine.
It's like no, it's 4 of them. They come in 4.
Now you're confusing
all
me.
4 add up to 1 bottle. There's 4 glasses. They're plastic. They come pre-packaged. Inside of each glass is already a full glass of wine.
Don't call it a glass when it's not made of glass. It's a cup.
John, that's common practice. Everyone does that about all kinds of different beverage
I don't
carrying
do that.
devices.
You
Yes,
call it a
do.
glass if it's made of glass. If it's made of plastic, you call it a cup or a container.
I don't know
Okay.
about that, John.
Please get that right next time.
Because you wouldn't say a wine cup. Nobody says that. It just doesn't happen. And now you've frustrated me, so I'm going to stop talking about it. You tell me about your cool thing that you found today, and it's probably not going to be nearly as cool as what I just talked about. Go ahead.
I don't have anything cool that I found today. I don't know what you're talking about. I never
That's what
told
I
you
thought.
that I did.
That's what I thought. So you're here to put me down because I found these cool little wine glasses that I can take anywhere with me, and you're jealous. I'll tell you what, next time I come over, I'm going to bring these suckers over with me, and I'm going to walk in holding one, sipping on it, and you're going to feel like you wish you had one, and I'm going to tell you no. You made fun of me, and you hurt my feelings. Now you can't have one of these.
I really
Maybe-
doubt that you're going to
maybe
remember to
when
bring one of
Blake
those
and I-
next time.
When Blake and I go to the zoo, coming soon, I'm going to bring one of these babies to the zoo. You can put it in your pocket, I can carry it around in my fanny pack,
You
and I can
can't
pull it
just
out.
drink wine at the zoo.
Yeah, you just watch me, and we'll see who's right after that. After I do that, and you're wrong.
That's right. Do that. Okay. Well, what are we?
I
what are we-
have.
what's on-
Hold on.
How you?
I got a new monitor. It's brilliant. I upgraded from a 60 hertz monitor to a 144 hertz monitor, and this monitor has 3D capabilities, though I will never use them.
Yeah, I find that 3DS is a massive gimmick on any device right now, but that's pretty cool.
I like
You got
how
yourself a new monitor.
you mentioned the 3D capabilities, though.
It just plays it up. It makes it sound even more expensive. Like, oh, I can watch Shrek the Third in complete 3D here, and you can't, idiot. You have to go to a theater. But I can.
Well,
Or watch it on your Nintendo 3DS. It's probably not going to look very good, though.
yeah, I don't know. I had high hopes for 3D technology when it first started coming out, and now I feel like it's failed me utterly.
I
don't-
think that it's just a matter of the screens being too small for 3D to be effective. I feel like once the technology becomes better, same thing with virtual reality, is that once it becomes better, I think that we'll see it used more effectively in products. But 3D especially, I think you need a bigger screen to really get the good impact out of that. How big is this monitor screen? Is it big enough to make use of that 3D?
It's 24 inches, so if you're right up close to it, I guess, like you would
press
for
your
a
face
normal
against
monitor.
it, so you must trick yourself into thinking you're in a movie theater.
No, I don't know. The only way that 3D is going to catch on at home is if you can get rid of those glasses, I think. Some TVs.
Well,
Isn't there some kind of technology at this point that you can do that? But
yeah, the
not very
3DS doesn't use 3D with glasses. It just
That's
like
not
it
real
creates this
3D
weird.
though.
No, it's not. But it's like an attempt, and it makes me dizzy, and I find I get nauseated by it. I don't like it.
I had the same reaction to it, so I just play all my games with it turned off.
Yeah, it's just it's a gimmicky effect. Nintendo is notorious for stupid gimmicky effects that don't really add much to the system or the gameplay or anything like that. And they neglect things like the online network.
well, you
which
know
is
they're
crap.
trying. They're trying.
I wouldn't mind it if they tried those things. I'd respect them for it even if they actually paid any attention to the stuff that like mattered, like the fundamentals.
Like put the resources into like online infrastructure. And
Yeah, decent online network and maybe better graphics, like even somewhat decent graphics that could come close to competing with last gen PlayStation, and actually maybe try to get some decent titles that aren't games for young children. I don't know. I mean, again, that is the gimmick of the system, so they've got their demographic.
Nintendo always feels like they're like smarter than everybody else. I think like they neglected to put HD in the Wii because they were like not enough TVs have HD technology yet. But you know, very quickly it became so outdated, the graphics. And actually, I mean, it started out looking pretty bad, but compared to like the Xbox 360 and the PS3, and now you have the Wii U, which is basically just now able to compete with like, you know, the PS3 and the Xbox 360 in terms of visuals. And it just keeps lagging behind everything. And they made this console that has a lot of gimmicky crap attached to it, and a lot of developers have just shied away from wanting to deal with it because it's not financially viable for them.
Well, yeah, because you can't really feasibly simultaneously release it on multiple consoles. You have to specifically develop a game for the Wii to have it, you know, sell and to have it be a draw, you know.
Yeah. Any other
Otherwise,
game you
you're
can develop for PC, Xbox, and PS3 at the same time. PS4.
Which, speaking of ports, by the way, I have something that irks me very much about ports. I think.
Wait, hold on. Like ports, like on a ship, or ports like a video game.
Ports,
yeah, port
video
at
games.
sea.
Yes,
or like the type of wine.
Yeah, the dessert wine. You mean?
Yeah.
Porter.
Yes.
Or
No,
Porterhouse
beer.
steak.
Oh yeah, Porterhouse steak. That's a nice one.
That's a good
nice
port.
one.
Let's
It
talk
tastes
about
good in my
Porterhouse
mouth.
steaks. It's probably going to be a lot more interesting than the dumb thing Yumi's going to about to say.
No, we'll
about
come back to what he
This
was
man
going to say.
rude as hell.
The true meaning. The true meaning of Yume's
No,
statement.
I'll let Yumi talk about video game ports, and then we're going to move on to talking about some Porterhouse steaks afterwards. So stay tuned.
All right.
Go
Let's
ahead.
hear
Well-
about the video game port.
The control functionalities of a mouse and keyboard are vastly superior, obviously, to a console's,
Not-
handheld.
Oh,
everywhere.
you're
Device
treading
everywhere.
into some rough waters here. I
Don't-
think a lot
you
of
don't
people might
believe so?
argue with you.
No,
you
not
You
do.
have
everywhere.
so
You
many
know
more
that I believe
inputs.
so.
You have so
know
many
that I
more
believe so.
inputs.
Well, it
on the
depends on the
keyboard.
game.
How
Now,
many inputs do you
my-
need, really?
My
You need
opinion.
depends on the game, of course.
All right, Yugs, what are you going to say? Just get your stupid opinion out of the way.
My opinion of the mouse and keyboard versus controller debate has always been that
Here
there's
we
not, regardless of any amount of input you have. Now, granted, the keyboard has a large number more than a controller has, but like John said, how many games do you need that many on? Not a lot. MMOs where you have a bunch of abilities, you need a lot. That's about it. But the real key to PC controls is the mouse. And the mouse gives you so much control in a 3D space. So any game where you have a reticle or a crosshair in the center of your screen, where you look around where you aim by moving that crosshair, a mouse is just going to give you superior control over your character
of course.
and where
It's
you're
a
facing.
precision. It's a precision instrument, whereas fumbling around with 2 joysticks is really just clunky.
Right.
That
So
said,
almost any 3D space, except for maybe racing games.
for like RPG ports and stuff like that, let me give the example of Fallout. Well, not Fallout. Fallout's not a good example. Skyrim.
Oh, Dark
Skyrim
Souls.
is a good example. You could actually use those extra keys, those extra inputs to make more quick cast buttons. I'm sure that, maybe there's a mod for this, but I never modded Skyrim. So, like, if I wanted to choose a different spell, I have to open the menu, go in, choose that, equip that, and then cast that spell. And it like pauses the game mid-combat, and that just really disjoints the gameplay experience for me, and it makes it, kind of tedious and unfun, and just, I don't know.
No, I agree with you. I think that's definitely an effect that would have. And the same thing happens when you want to switch weapons or anything during combat, like from a bow to melee or what have it. The only thing I ever really enjoyed in Skyrim or Oblivion was the bow. I thought the bow was the only thing that felt like it worked. I think everything else, like scrolling through the melee combat is a joke. It was terrible. And you have games that come out and do it way better, so you can't even, if you compare it to any other game. Go ahead, John.
Listen here, just to backtrack a little bit. One thing I want to say is that I believe that one thing mice don't have over the console controller is I really, in shooting games, I really like the effect of pulling a trigger to shoot a gun. Maybe that's just because I've been so used to it. I've never been much of a PC gamer until recently. But I always feel like there's something missing to me when I want to play a shooter and I click a mouse as opposed to using an actual trigger, which is more like the effect of using a real gun. You know what I'm talking about?
I think John is a mass murderer in training.
I think it's a pretty psychotic thing to say. But just to entertain you, I think that, you could definitely design if you really wanted that, you could design a mouse where like the left click is elevated and you have a little trigger that like can function by pressing the left click down, and you can do it. I don't know, John. It's weird. You can make a mouse.
You shoot gangster style. Just have it sideways. Have a trigger that you pull instead of the left mouse button.
You have a board with your mouse pad like glued to it, and yeah, I could see that working out. Maybe, probably not though. That's stupid, John. That's a weird thing that you want. But
wait, can we pause for a second? Have you shot a real gun, John? I
have not. No. I've shot paintball guns. Pussy. I've shot airsoft guns. I've shot what's the other one?
BB guns. The little beepsters.
But I've never gone out onto like a range and shot a gun. I've never gone out into the streets and shot another man.
I would hope not.
Well, it's always a first time for everything. After John's been talking about his enthusiasm for triggers and shooting,
I feel like it's a more realistic experience. I really like it. I think it's a viable opinion.
I like it when you shoot them and the blood splatter is realistic and it leaks from their corpse for a couple of minutes.
I didn't say that, but I think every gamer
and I think that a big issue
that the more realistic, the better.
I think that a big issue in video games is that
stop doing that voice.
When you
stop
shoot
doing that
somebody,
voice to make fun of me.
When you shoot somebody, they're not going to die instantly. You get them in the chest, they're going to fall over. They're going to bleed out, and they're going to die slow. And I want to go up to them. I want to look in their eyes while the life just disappears from them, because that's what gets me off. It feels more realistic.
Are you finished?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right, thank God.
I never shot a gun either in real life.
I would recommend it. It's a fun experience.
I feel like personally, I own 2 swords. And I don't think I need a gun. If there's an intruder in my house, I'm going to get him with one of my swords. And I know the layout of my house. It's probably going to be dark. I'll catch him around one of those corners. They're not going to see me
swords sharpened.
They don't have to be that sharp, John. I got a nice, powerful arm, a nice thrust, a nice swing. I do some training from time to time in the dojo.
Yeah. Have you attempted to chop bullets in half?
I haven't, but I can deflect bullets. I'm almost there. My sensei says maybe eventually I will be able to chop the bullet in half, but that's a dangerous technique. Most sword masters don't use that one because they're shrapnel, and it can go both ways. Usually, you try to get right between those.
Yeah, you could end up getting hit twice.
Why you
That'd be terrible.
Right, you want to deflect it, and you want to aim it away from you, Sometimes, if you're good enough, you can
It's
even
not 'cause
deflect
you're-
it straight back at your opponent and get them with the bullet.
It's not because you're an asshole and it would just kill you because you would miss and you would die. There'd be no like cutting the bullet in half and dealing with the shrapnel hitting you. You fool.
John, well, that's the whole point of the training, is to not miss the bullet. And that's the whole point why we don't try that. It's a dangerous technique. There's some masters that can do it, but I'm not a master yet, but I'm getting there. If you're within 20 feet of me and I've got my full tang cold steel katana, I'll get you. I'll cut you down.
Well, yeah,
You have
that's
no
easy.
chance.
I mean, if I have a spear, my spear that I use to anoint moderators at the Twitch channel, and I toss it at you, it's gonna cut right through your skull.
You don't think I would
It's gonna go
deflect
clean out
that?
the other side.
I don't think that was going to happen.
But what if somebody has an
It's
axe, John? What if
Axes do defeat spears.
They do not.
Spears may trump swords, but axes
As long as the
defeat
handle
spears.
is not made
Everyone
of
knows
wood. If the spear is made of wood, then yes.
And I usually have a sidearm hatchet on me for events when somebody does come up on
My
me with a
spear is made of
Well, then he's just
Valerian
undefeatable.
steel.
Yogzula's undefeatable.
I am. And in case a Pegasus
likes to
Knight
think
comes up
so.
on me, I do have a bow. And I might pull out my Tome of Thunder magic in case.
All right, so how about this question? Of these things, which is your favorite? Porter,
Chocolate.
the beer,
I thought you were about to talk about
Porterhouse steak, or a video game port, or sailboat port.
Porter.
the Porterhouse.
That's the porter beer, you say?
Porterhouse steak.
Yes. Have you had the Stone Vanilla Porter?
I have not, but I love stone beers. So
Yes,
I trust
they are
that
very
you're,
good.
yeah, I trust that you know what you're talking about there.
I had a chocolate peanut butter porter the other day to go with a
Oh,
Reese's.
What's it called? Is
gross.
it Sweet Baby Jesus?
Yes, by Duclaw.
Yes, it's an
Gross.
Yes.
excellent beer. I love that beer. It tastes like
Yes.
it tastes like peanut butter and beer, and it doesn't taste gross.
Yes, I had it with a Reese's peanut butter cup pie,
Oh, that
and it
sounds
was an excellent
amazing.
pairing.
Oh my
Sounds
God, I'm so
disgusting.
jealous
This
of
is
that.
all very gross. This is disgusting.
Your
You
opinion
shouldn't do
isn't
that.
valid. All you want to do is drink wine Ziplocs,
No, that's not what they're called, John. They're called zips.
Zip Zabs.
And I haven't tried one yet, but I'm excited to.
So we should make our own line of alcoholic drinks, and we can call it Zip Zabs instead, and we can compete with Zips.
John, you were just making fun of this not even 10 minutes ago, and now you want to try to compete with them by doing the same thing? You're a
It's a
flip
stupid
flop.
ass idea, but if it's you know, if people want to buy it, you know what's stupid? People like Justin Bieber music, but people that
What?
still makes money.
What? Well, Justin Bieber.
Biebs, people like that guy. He makes money somehow, even though most people hate him. I don't understand how that
I
works.
gotta say, the one song is catchy. The new song by Diplo and Skrillex and Justin Bieber. That song's a catchy
How's it go?
song.
How's
It
it go?
is a catchy song, yeah, but I like the beat more than I care about his stupid voice.
Oh, of course.
I don't think I've heard that one.
You can
let me
easily
play it for
search it
you.
online.
Well, just sing me the chorus.
No, we're not going to do that.
Negative.
We're not gonna-
Be good sports about this.
I
Just
don't
sing me
even
the
know the
chorus.
song well enough that I could do
I
that.
literally do not know the lyrics.
Oh, does it even have lyrics, or is it like drop the beat,
No,
skrill,
it's- We just said it has Justin Bieber in it. His stupid ass voice.
I think Justin Bieber sounds like an angel, and I think that you're very bitter because you come close to looking like Justin Bieber, except for he's way more handsome. So like you're like an
Oh
ugly
my God!
Justin
Stop.
Bieber, and now you're mad, and then he's got a voice of an angel. You don't. He's got hair.
And we've cut Yogzilla off. Sorry about that, folks. We had to silence him for a second. Yogzilla, you're back.
John, you don't want to go there, friend. You don't want to start doing this. We've had a little incident like this before, and I had to fire back, and John got very upset. If you guys are not familiar with this story, well, I'm about to tell it. You know what story it's going to be, John?
That story you were extremely petty about. We shouldn't talk about that on this podcast.
I'm going to talk about it. You shouldn't
No,
say
you
anything.
said you liked the Porterhouse steak.
John, you did this last time, too. I'm not going to let you cut me off and try to bully
It's
me around
not
here.
time to talk about our past feuds. This is the ToadCast.
John,
No one cares.
I'm going to tell the story I just said I was going to tell, and you're going to shut your mouth and allow me to tell it. I'm going to make it brief.
I could cut you off again.
Yeah, but if you do that, it's going to sound horrible, and you have to edit all this stuff together. You don't want to do that. And I'll just record it on my end. I'll upload my own version, and I'll take all the traffic away from John Lusky's YouTube channel, where he's uploading these things, trying to hoard all the views and
Yeah,
advertising
why is it not
money.
on the Multitoad channel?
I told him, I chewed him out for that.
He has like 800 different accounts and passwords, and it's hard to keep track of all.
You mean we, because we are Multitoad, and you should know the passwords. I've sent you the whole list before.
Just
There's not that
tell
many
your
different
stupid
accounts.
story so we can move back to the regular programming of the ToadCast.
I don't even want to tell it anymore.
Okay.
I don't even care anymore.
Tell us about your Porterhouse steaks.
I don't even eat steaks that much, John.
Do you? No, well, see, I don't even know what like a Porterhouse steak is really.
You've made me pick between three. You made me pick between like 4 awful things that I don't care about.
You don't like ports.
I don't like console. I don't like ports on the PC. They're usually terrible. I don't like ports on ships. Ships make me seasick. I don't want to be on a ship. I don't want to be on a port spot of a ship,
You're saying
especially.
You choose none of these things because you don't like good beer and you don't like ships.
And the port dessert wine, it tastes
not a big
like
steak eater.
No, we're talking about the wine right now. It tastes like pure alcohol. There's not a lot of flavor in those. It's just, and for dessert wine,
that's an after dinner drink, right? Yeah.
Way too strong. I don't enjoy it. I've had them before.
Dinner.
Yeah, I don't like them. And I'm not a big beer guy, so porters I don't care about. So
you know what's
given me
a good
a lot
after
of
dinner
things.
drink?
What?
A Gatsby. It's 1 ounce of heavy cream, 1 ounce of amaretto, I like Di Serrano, and 1 ounce of creme de cacao, shaken with ice.
Is he even speaking English right now? What are these words?
Yeah, I got it.
I don't know what that
understand
is.
what he's talking about.
No,
it's a very refreshing dessert drink.
Amaretto
I highly
is
recommend
very
it to anybody.
I haven't had the third ingredient. What's that again?
Creme de cacao. I'm sure you've had it.
Oh.
Cacao, like
Perhaps.
the Chinese general?
No?
Cow?
No, you've been playing too much Dynasty Warriors recently?
I actually watched Redcliffe, and Cow was a big player in that.
Okay.
Well, nice piece of history for y'all.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately for me, I can't have that drink. I mean, I could, but it would result poorly.
Are you lactose intolerant?
Yes.
He'd poop right in his pants.
I wouldn't do it immediately, but I'd have a rough time of it pretty soon afterwards. You know, and I would have discomfort in my stomach.
I'm sorry to hear that, John.
But it sounds delicious.
I don't even know. I don't know what half of those things are, so I can't tell you what I think of it. I usually don't.
It sounds like a very
okay.
dessert kind of drink.
I don't often have any
Sweet.
mixed drinks with heavy cream in them, though. Is that what you said?
You probably
heavy
like
cream?
it.
I don't know. Something gross about that. Cream mixed with alcohol. I think that would make my stomach turn. What else is a common drink that uses cream in it? I've had it once.
There are a bunch.
Irish car bomb.
Yeah, the car
Baileys.
bombs. Car bombs make me feel. Well, Bailey's isn't really. I guess it's kind of a cream. Car bombs actually aren't bad. The first time I had one, I felt sick, but then we put down a bunch of those last St. Patty's, and I felt fine.
They start to taste like milkshakes to me.
Yeah, they're actually pretty good. I don't mind them, and they're kind of easy to throw down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, last St. Patrick's Day, what did we do anyway? Was that when you were over here? That was like 2 years ago.
No, that was. I don't.
Did we do anything last St. Patrick's Day?
I don't think I did. No, I think this St. Patrick's Day fell on like a weekday or something, and I just drank like a couple beers or something here.
Oh, yeah, I don't think I did anything either then.
People celebrate on the weekend, but I didn't do anything. I just,
I do remember that. It was on a weekday, and everyone was like celebrating on the weekend. I'm like, it's not even St. Patrick's Day. You guys look like a bunch of dopes out there with your silly green hats on. You bunch of. You know what? I don't like Irish people. I'll tell you. I'll say it. I don't like Irish.
You're
people.
Irish.
I'm mostly Irish, but Irish people are some of the most pompous people about their own genetic makeup, about their ethnicity or whatever you might want to call it, heritage.
Now we're gonna
I
get
guess.
into
How so?
racism.
Oh, they're so proud of it, which is like it's fine to be proud of it to an extent. Well, not really. I think it's wrong to be proud of it. I think that you should just be like, whatever. This is what I am. The more you're proud of your own ethnicity and race, I think it harbors divisiveness, where it's like, oh, I'm proud to be Irish, and I'm proud to be Italian, and I'm proud to be Jewish. That everyone's kind of it puts people on teams more than it should. And I feel like you just like I'm just a dude. I'm just a guy. I'm a person, just like you. I'm not proud. I'm proud to be an earthling. I'm proud to be a member of the human race.
People have a desire to be on teams. I think.
Yeah,
that's why
I
people
think
pick their favorite sports teams. Their favorite, their country is like obviously their favorite country, unless they hate their country and they pick someone else. Like a lot of Americans hate America. It seems like they're like,
I think it's an unhealthy thing to do, but it's common. all throughout history, but I think it's unhealthy, and I think it harbors divisiveness.
I think it's an effort to come together with other people more so than it is an effort to divide from a larger group.
I
think
agree. That's the intention. I don't think
right.
that's the
I don't
effect.
think it works that way. But like, I don't know. Like all the Korean people say, like who come over here, they tend to stick in like tight knit groups or other Asian people. And
The
like,
same is true of like black people. If you're at a university or a college, you'll see that groups of ethnic people will tend to stick together. I think it's because they feel comfortable. Their backgrounds are more relatable. Their upbringings are more relatable, and it's just
Yeah.
Even though a lot of them were raised in America though, and the culture is probably not that different. Like I've got Korean cousins who are like completely normal dudes, but I'm not sure if he hangs out with mostly Asian people. I have no idea, but I don't know. I think the whole pride thing. Back to Irish pride. I think the Irish are one of the most proud people of their ethnicity, and I just think it's silly. I think it's silly to take a bunch of pride in something so meaningless.
Not to mention, for a long time, they were reviled. In fact,
right, and they were subject to a lot of I don't want to say criticism.
Maltreatment.
Maltreatment is perfect, yeah. And it's not really talked about, but the Irish were through a whole lot of shit, and so it's fine to be like, yeah, we came through it. But I don't know. I wish people would stop doing that so much. That's all. And the Irish are just so loud about it. And it's like, and it's the weirdest things too that they're proud of. Like, yo, we can drink a whole lot. I can drink a lot of alcohol.
Accent is that?
It's a me, I'm an Irishman.
Why are you a Jamaican Irishman?
It's a me, stop putting me on the spot.
That was awful.
You do it.
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Stop busting on me so much. You know what point I'm making here? Is that
it's me. I'm an Irishman.
Stop it, I'm learning to you. Get me a pint of Guinness.
John always goes into this.
So much.
I can drink so much. Last time John was here on St. Patrick's Day, the time I was talking about, we had these stupid little green hats on, and we were playing Mario Party, and John was losing so badly, he got super bummed out, and he was just like, I don't even want to play anymore. And then finally, he had this like weird swing in his mood, and he would just get really close to my face. Anytime I won something, he'd be like, "Oh, the luck of the Irish is with you." He was super obnoxious about it.
Yeah, I got like manic all of a sudden. But that game, I hate that game sometimes. It just makes me angry.
Why? What
it's
about
so
Mario
designed
Party
to make you want to punch your friends in the face. You just come over.
I don't think it is.
Here. Oh, I got a little coin that makes me come over here and take your stars away. That's
Mario
fun,
Party has
kids.
a lot of random bullshit in it, but there is enough in the game that allows you to influence it. There's a lot of mini games which require skill. There's in the mini games themselves. There's not a whole lot of random elements. Some of them, but most of them do require you to know what you're doing and play it well. And you get a star for like winning the most mini games. But then there's like the stars awarded toward the end. I think the only star that matters is whoever won the most mini games. That's the spiritual winner of Mario Party. If you're the one who's like, oh, you landed on the most red spaces, here's a fucking star, idiot. And then you're like, oh yeah, and you get like 2 stars for that, and then you like roll some dice and steal 3 from your friend. It doesn't really count. So it's whoever won the most mini games, that's the winner of Mario Party in my book.
But it's not because the game says otherwise.
Yeah,
so.
And they put you on a big podium with fireworks in the back. Like, yeah,
so
you won.
Doesn't matter. Your friend can still be like, yeah, you idiot. Doesn't matter what moral victor you think you just got. I won.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it can be frustrating in that regard. But, I don't know. There's ways to manipulate the amount of stars you get. You can give yourself a better chance.
Look,
it's not completely random.
What happened that night is I realized that I was taking it too seriously, and then I went to the complete opposite end of the spectrum, and I became a spaz.
Yeah, John sometimes will do this, but he won't become a spaz as openly on stream as he does in private.
Why are we just casually throwing around this hateful word?
Which word?
Spaz?
Whoa!
In other countries, it's isn't it a derogatory term for like?
I think it used to be for people with like some kind of mental defect.
Yeah.
I've never heard that before. I never
Really?
heard that spaz is a.
That's where it came from.
There
That's
was
the
actually
origin
a
of the
game recall. I think it was a Mario game, maybe because it used the word spaz in the text in Great Britain, so they just recalled the game.
Sounds ridiculous to me. I mean, So many people get so offended by everything, and I just don't. I can't talk anymore. I'm just gonna stay quiet.
Oh God, you got a Trump supporter in here. I was gonna start talking about Donald Trump now. Go ahead. You voting for the Donald
Make America great again. No, I don't support Trump. Stop.
I do. I think Trump ought to be the next president. I think that Trump's going to be a hilarious guy to be president.
He probably would be really
in my
funny
opinion,
to be president. He just ruined the country, probably.
I don't think that's even true. I think that the
I don't
president
think
has
the
very
president
little
doesn't have
influence.
enough power to do that. Yeah.
Over anything. It's like it'll just be like he's just the face of the country, and putting Trump, give him a microphone and put him on TV, and it's just comic gold. The guy's funny as hell, in a very offensive way a lot of the time, but it's funny. He embarrasses himself. And I love to watch it.
A lot of people think that he's just trolling us. He's like he's like America's greatest troll. Like he doesn't think he's actually going to be president. He's just messing with everybody for publicity.
But he's like a genuine troll though. Like he is trolling, but it's just who he is. Like the way he's like taking the Republican Party by the balls and is like, I've got all the funding, I got money, I can just completely make this party lose if you don't support me. And it's going to be a Democratic president unless you support me. So they kind of have to. Like they either concede to letting a Democrat be president, or they let Trump keep doing his thing, which is hilarious.
Yeah, I don't want to get too much into politics, but I agree that it's pretty funny.
Yeah. So what about Mario Party? What did you hate most about Mario Party, John?
I just told you I hate the random
mechanic is
star
randomness.
stealing.
The star stealing. Can we get more specific with the mechanic that we could possibly talk about a little bit more in depth than star stealing that doesn't exist in any other game?
I haven't played the game in a while
on the planet.
I haven't played the game in a while, but how do you get stupid like abilities to steal coins or steal stars? Bowser comes out of nowhere, drops down. He's like, "I'm gonna give your stars to somebody else," and then you know what I mean. And he takes your stars away. Exactly.
That was a very good Bowser.
John's
I'd
Bowser.
I'd just like to say that.
It's
Yes,
me,
John's.
Bowser. I'm gonna take your stars
Please
away.
stop. Please stop.
Hey, Mario. Where's Peach? I want to kidnap her and make her my ass slave.
Oh, I knew something like that was coming.
So your major
What do you think?
complaint...
Wait, hold on. Let me stop. What do
No,
you think
no,
Bowser
no,
does to
hold
Peach
on.
in those towers?
No, pause. I started first. So your major complaint is the drastic swing in the game state that can occur from seemingly arbitrary or random events.
Yes.
You really dressed that one
they
up,
put
didn't
that
you?
in. They put that in there specifically.
Specifically?
Specifically
What about
to
Atlantically?
keep the little kids in the game. Specifically to keep the little kids in the game. You know what I mean? So like, it's a casual mechanic that's just
It's
thrown
the
in
most
because Nintendo
casual.
says, "Oh yeah, it's all about fun, kids. You can't be competitive because that's not fun." We're gonna add tripping to your most beloved Smash Bros. Game.
And here it is.
And
The
there
core
it
of
is.
John's hate
Tripping.
toward Nintendo.
How many times have I been killed in the heat of a match because of random tripping? And Yogzilla takes advantage every time, and then I lose. But that hasn't happened in a while because we played Brawl, and I kick Yogzilla's ass at Brawl.
John, that is Brawl that we're talking about.
I mean,
Brawl
I'm
is
sorry.
one with tripping.
We've been playing Smash for Wii U, and I kick Yogzilla's ass at Smash for Wii U.
John, I think everyone knows. I school you. They see it happen live.
I think
on
you
stream
should
all the
probably be a little bit frightened, though, because I've been playing a lot.
time. Have
you know.
you been playing a lot of For Glory?
Well, I've had to.
Why?
You know,
Why
we've
have you
been
had to?
streaming. We've been streaming the game a little bit, and I have to play
Oh.
For Glory. And I played with
Have
over
you
last
played it
weekend a
off-stream?
little bit.
Have you played For Glory off stream as well?
No.
Well, hold on. Yumi was not letting me finish my point, so I'm going to go back to something real quick.
Okay.
What do you think Bowser does to Princess Peach in those towers that he pulls her into? He locks her up in that dungeon. What do you think goes on there? Because this is a PG game, keep that in mind. But Bowser's thirsty. He's always trying to get Peach. He's got a weird obsession, a very, very dangerous obsession. I feel like in real life, if that was a real life situation where a man would kidnap a woman, how many times now? Well over a dozen. She would have been murdered by now in real life.
Well, he's
But-
not really a man. He's a turtle monster. But
I don't know if that's the correct
he
word.
shows a lot
maybe-
of menacing characteristics of like a supervillain, like a human supervillain. So I think it would be fair to say that Nintendo is just protecting the children from this real story, and he does terrible things in his castles.
Did you know the lore behind Donkey Kong and Mario?
No.
Okay, well,
Oh no, I did. He was like a Donkey Kong was like a circus slave or something, right?
yeah, Donkey Kong used to be a mistreated like slave to Mario, and this was in the actual manual of the original Nintendo game. Is that Donkey Kong was Mario's pet monkey, and Mario mistreated him, and Donkey Kong got pissed, and that's why he's throwing the barrels, and Mario's going to try to subdue him again, to chain him up.
Oh, I never knew that actually.
Yeah, it's true. It's a true story.
Okay, well, I believe it. It makes sense.
Yeah.
So where's Peach come into this? Is Peach is in that game, right? She's like, oh help, she's up at the top.
I don't think originally. I think if I had to piece this together, Mario beat Donkey Kong. He kept him as a slave for many years. Donkey Kong got pissed, threw barrels at him, and then well, Donkey Kong has nothing to do with Peach. Donkey Kong just leaves. He goes to the jungle and he's like, finally,
No.
I'm free.
Hold
I'm
on,
out of this.
there was
Am I remembering that
the
wrong?
woman though at the top of the thing that was the objective of the game with Mario and Donkey Kong.
Oh, so was that Peach then,
I don't think it was explicitly Peach though.
or was that just a squeeze?
Was
that
it
Mario had
Daisy?
before Peach?
I don't know.
I doubt it was Daisy. Disregard that.
Do you think that's what it was? It was
I
Daisy.
think this is the case of people reading too far into the story of Mario, a 2D platforming game.
Okay, I'm only stating facts here. Now we're making assumptions, and we're going off the deep end.
I'm sorry. When did you said you read that in the game manual all those
Yeah.
years ago?
I didn't
And you were just
personally
a
read
little
that.
tyke.
I mean, it came up again, surfaced again on the internet. That's where I saw it. We were like, oh, this got a pretty dark backstory here, and I thought it was kind of interesting because video game manuals would often
Sounds
They-
like
I
you
guess
could
they had
write an
fun.
article for Cracked.
they had fun. Craig probably already did an article on this, but anyway, I think that the video games used to have
5
fun writing.
surprisingly dark stories of video games that you didn't think about, kids. Did you know that Sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, finish what I was saying because apparently you know what I'm about to say, and you'd like to tell a story instead.
No, I don't. Go ahead.
I forgot what I was saying. Now I'm completely lost. You had to help me out here.
Is that why?
Yeah, I got completely distracted by that incredibly rude interruption from you, and now I just don't know where I'm going
I gotta
with this.
tell you, that was a pretty quick turnaround for losing your train of thought. I said 3 words.
We'd stop talking about that for like a few seconds, then you're just like, oh, don't I write the Donkey Kong dark backstory? And I just gave up. I gave up on whatever I was saying. I don't remember what it was. Folks at home, you're not going to hear what I was about to say because I have no idea what it was, unless you make it remind me.
Nope.
Okay,
Continue.
you may wasn't even listening to what I was saying.
He just says continue.
He just said, no, I don't. He didn't care either. So the topic that we wanted to talk about tonight, anyway, because
What a
we're having a
smooth
difficult time.
transition.
We're having a difficult time getting to this topic, and I want to talk about it. All right, are things in video games that we find annoying? We've talked about mechanics that we find annoying that don't really tie into a general overarching common mechanic that happens a lot in video games. So like, you talked about stealing, Bowser showing up and taking all your resources and giving them to other people. That's the only game that ever happens in. What else did you talk about?
I didn't. Oh, we
Okay,
didn't
well,
get to
you may said
anything yet.
something. Yeah,
We
well,
talked about the ports with
Ports,
the control and the pausing mid combat to choose something else.
all right. Yume did make an attempt to transition into this, and we've completely gone off course. So thank you for trying, Yume, but it didn't work. So
I noticed.
Oh, maybe that's
Thank
why
you.
he asked me about Skyrim earlier. I don't.
that's probably is why. That's
Yeah,
probably
I
exactly
might have given
why.
him the wrong answer when he asked me about that. But I personally have a big problem with the misuse of timers in games.
Yeah, tell us about it.
I think that it's not as common as it used to be, but especially during like the days of Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Nintendo 64, games would throw timers in to sort of fraudulently add excitement to a game. Like maybe something was boring, so they were like, "Oh, well, just make them do it quicker."
Give us an example of a game you're talking about, because I'm having a hard time here.
I don't understand what you don't understand. Like,
So you mean like the floor turns into lava after like 60 seconds?
yeah, something like that.
What game has had that mechanics? I don't think that's a real game.
I'm sure I've played a game that has happened in.
Yeah, what's it called?
No.
Yeah, what's it called? Huh?
No, see, you're just being an asshole.
I'm just asking questions here, John. Let's bunch up. Trying to get to the bottom of this.
Like, let's say, I mean, it's tough for me to just pull a game out of my ass when I'm trying to talk about this. I didn't prepare well enough,
It
but
doesn't sound like you did. I'd like at least one example of a timer in a game that you found to be frustrating.
just to get to the end of the level, to do something. Let's say you're trying to escape something, and they throw a timer up there instead of maybe having you get chased by someone. More, having something actually more realistic happen. Like, for instance, and this isn't the greatest example because it actually kind of made sense for this game, but in the end of Ocarina of Time, when the castle or whatever is exploding, and you have to like run down the mountain to get out, they throw a timer up there. And I don't like
there's
that.
an explosion. There's debris everywhere. You're gonna get killed if you don't get out of there in time. I think most
I
games that
don't
use
like-
timers in that sense, there's always a reason for it. You're either getting chased by something that will either bite you and kill you, which means there's probably not a timer.
has
You just
never
see it nipping
been
at your
fun to
heels. Or you've got a timer because the complex you've just blew up is in the process of exploding, and you better get out of there in time before the detonator goes off.
Alternatively, you're underwater and you need to complete the level before you drown.
Right, and there's underwater levels are a completely different thing. If we're going to talk about shitty game mechanics, underwater levels takes the cake. There's never been a single good game with underwater levels. Some people would argue, "Oh, Echo that Dolphin was a good game." No, it wasn't. It definitely wasn't. And a few 2D games can pull off underwater levels. It's like sometimes okay, but even in the 2D games with the underwater levels, I'd argue that the above water levels are always more fun. And I can think about two games that most people have played, being Mario and Sonic. Sonic has had some underwater levels which sucked, and Mario's had some underwater levels which haven't sucked, but they weren't good. The above water levels were all way more fun than underwater. It just doesn't feel fun to be all floaty around in the water, all slow. Your controls are more limited. You can't turn as quickly. You can't fall or rise as quickly. It just doesn't feel as fun. And when you take that and you put it into a 3D space where you've got to like maneuver your way through water in a 3D area, oh god, it's a nightmare. I hate it.
Yeah, I've always felt, whenever a underwater level comes up in Mario, I get upset.
Yeah,
I
it's
just feel like a
God.
little bit depressed. Like, oh, we got one of these now. We got to do first before we can get back to like the fun platforming.
Yeah, right. 'Cause the whole game is a platformer, and underwater pretty much removes that.
Oh, you better watch out for the fish, kids. Hope you have those fireballs. No, I don't like to do that. Sorry.
You don't have to be sorry. It's okay. I'm with you on this.
You
So
weren't with me on
underwater
the
levels.
timers.
Well, I think that I don't. You didn't give me any good examples. That's what I was asking for. I feel like most games I've ever played with timers, there's a good reason that they're there, and I didn't feel like they've impeded on my experience of the game that much. I feel like they've always been there for a reason. They've added to it. So if you
You
gave me a
think-
good example,
You think that they add to the story? So if there was an arbitrary timer, you'd be like, okay, that's stupid.
in what
Right.
regard?
So like, if for no reason the floor turned into lava after 60 seconds, if you didn't beat the level,
Yeah, that would
But-
be stupid.
as opposed to like the castle
That
is crumbling
happens.
and lava is penetrating through the floor, that
Usually the way that that timers work in these senses is on like a particularly intense level or like a final event of some sort where like the castle's sinking and lava's rising, you better get out of there quick, or something like that, where it's usually a platforming challenge or a challenge to like quickly beat whatever you're on because there's something impending. It's not just like for no reason you're just playing like level 1 of,
But sometimes it is. I mean, I can't think of any specific instances.
and that
Off the
really
top of
hurts.
my head.
That really hurts your argument in saying that it is sometimes without any examples here. Because I don't know. I don't remember
Well,
any.
it's not like
games
you
where
have
that's-
examples.
I didn't bring.
Like,
I didn't bring it up. The burden of the examples is on you, my friend.
but that's what I'm saying is that you don't have any examples off the top of your head either to support your statement that you think it's most of the time it's worth it. It's not. It's not. Look, and maybe it's just personal preference to me. I don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy feeling like I'm being rushed like that arbitrarily.
Well, I don't know that anything. I think if you call that arbitrary, you can call anything in a video game arbitrary. There's usually a design reason behind it, and I think that a lot of times the design reason is an event like something's about to blow up. You got to get out, like you said with Ocarina of Time, the castle's exploding, and you got to get down the hill.
Let me give you an analogy here. Then fine, okay.
All right, let's hear it.
How do you feel about vegetables? Let's say for the
Uh,
sake of the argument that you hate vegetables.
I do like vegetables, though.
Let's say for the sake of the argument that I just said that. For the sake of the argument, you hate vegetables.
Okay, this is already a poor
Vegetables
hypothetical. So I do
still
like vegetables, folks.
still prove they're worth something because they are good for you, but you choose not to eat them because you don't like the way they taste. And for me, timers may work in the game, but I don't like the way they taste.
That was the worst
I hate them.
hypothetical
I don't think
example.
they're fun at all.
That was
I
the
want them to
worst
go away.
analogy I have ever heard in my life. But
It's not a bad. It's not a
Fine.
bad analogy at all. It's personal preference. That's what I'm trying to drill into your head.
So well, we were talking about bad game mechanics. You're saying, well, maybe this isn't a bad game mechanic. I just don't like it. Is what it comes down to, and that's fine because I guess anything like this is going to be arbitrary. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah,
I don't think they're
real
I don't think they're inherently a bad
low
game mechanic.
level.
I'm just saying, and I'll share mine because I'm sure you're going to disagree with me, and it's just as arbitrary as anything else. I don't like regenerating health in games. I don't like shields in games. I think it's probably my number one pet peeve about a lot of newer games is that you take damage and then the damage is reversed automatically without having to do anything, and I find that to be very frustrating. I feel
Well, it changes the way that you play the game.
it does
It makes
a
you
more
kind of like
defensive way.
campy, yeah.
And I don't like that. It changes the game to be more defensive because you get hit a few times and you're like, oh, I better go hide. Rather than like, oh shit, like it's time to... And that does happen sometimes in a game like Counter-Strike where your health is permanently gone, you're getting shot at, you take a bullet, and you're like, oh crap, I don't know where this is coming from, I better get down. But the thing about it that I dislike the most is that when you're the person shooting the other person and doing damage to them, I want that damage to matter. If I hit somebody a few times and then after 2 seconds because they ran behind a tree, all of my damage no longer mattered and me landing those shots didn't matter at all. It doesn't
the
feel
health
rewarding.
doesn't immediately come back in a game like Halo.
Not immediately,
there's
but a couple of
cooldown
seconds.
before it comes back.
Right.
And so a skilled player will take damage, and they won't just sit there and wait for them to pop their head back out when they have their full health back. They'll take them out. And there are ways to make it go faster. There are ways to shoot, in different parts of the body that make that do more damage. Obviously,
Right.
the head.
But John, I
there
was
are
watching.
guns that can take them out in one shot. There, you can kill them in one hit if you get them from behind. You smack
I
them in
was
the back.
watching Evo with the Halo tournament. Not Evo, I'm sorry. What was the recent Halo tournament? There was a recent big Halo tournament.
I forget what it was called, but I know what
Anyway,
you're talking about.
But
It's
there was,
the
and I was
big-
watching some of that because I was curious. And the players did not get aggressive and chase after people. They were trying to control areas of the map. They'd shoot somebody a few times, that person would just run. They wouldn't chase them because it's probably not a good thing. You can't chase them. They get behind the rock, they're just going to bait you into getting murdered. Or they can just keep running in a circle around the rock and you can't get to them. It doesn't matter. So they played a very controlling style of play where it was very defensive, very campy. They tried to control certain areas of the map. They would just run around shooting people, and every once in a while there was a confrontation where there's nothing to run and hide behind. And then obviously when you can't run and hide, you're going to have a shootout to the death. But I don't know. I just don't like it. And the same thing extends to other games that have healers in them. Like World of Warcraft is a game I played a lot. So you're doing a lot of damage to a guy. You lay onto them, and in a 1v1 scenario, that guy's going to die. But then suddenly some dude rolls up that has a bunch of healing spells, heals the guy to full. All of the effort and all of the damage you put into the guy that you were attacking, completely reversed. And then, unless you get more people to help you attack the guy that the healer is on, that guy's never going to die. He's invincible. You better just go find something else to do. You're wasting your time.
I mean,
I find
for
that
me,
to be super frustrating.
personally, the reason why I like the Halo health system over a game like Counter-Strike or your Call of Duties where you take a couple shots and you go down, I feel like I really enjoy the weight behind the Halo kills where it's just more, it takes a little bit more effort and it takes more, I mean, in a certain way. And when you have a game like Counter-Strike where you can die so instantly and you just respawn and just keep like dying and coming back and respawning, it just feels like there's less weight to the kills and it's just unrealistic. People are coming back to life all over the place, and it just frustrates me. Like it's just.
Well,
If you're playing deathmatch, maybe, but like each round is what's important. It's not the kills necessarily that matter in Counter-Strike. It's
Well,
the
Maybe I'm
completing of
thinking
the
more of Call of
objectives.
Duty then.
Doesn't Call of Duty have a little bit of regenerating health to an extent? I haven't played the series, so I don't know. I thought
They
it did.
do, but in multiplayer, it's pretty inconsequential. It's very small. You shoot people a couple times, they go down. Usually if you find someone first.
Well, you've raised another great point of something else that irks the hell out of me is deathmatch being like the primary game mode for a lot of these newer games instead of like objective-based permadeath combat like Counter-Strike is a great example again, is that you've got 5 guys on each team. There's an objective to complete, so it's not just like camp each other out forever. And you got to move, you got to make plays. And any damage you do to somebody else, you throw a grenade and chunk a little bit of health off of everybody. That's a big deal. It's like in Halo, you hit a group of guys with a grenade. It's like, oh, who cares? They're just gonna get their shields back in a couple seconds, unless your whole team is there to try to like wipe them out, which is probably not a common occurrence. But on the topic of deathmatch though, I just feel like and it does make the kills feel inconsequential, or they have less weight, like you were putting it. If you kill them, they just come back immediately, and it doesn't matter. Whereas in a game where they don't come back, getting those kills, it's tremendous. It's a really huge difference you just made for your team by taking somebody else on the other side out.
There was a game called Insurgency that came out a while back, and I suggested you play it, but I don't think you did. And it's got extremely long respawn times in certain game modes. So if you die, you're gonna be waiting like 10 minutes to come back. The game modes take a long time to finish, and it makes it pretty tense and realistic. So in that way, like, I do agree with you that regenerative health in a situation like that doesn't work.
Right, and well, I think regenerative health and deathmatch mode go hand in hand. I feel like they both came out of the woodwork around the same time, where they became like common in a lot of games, and it's because I think game developers think that players no longer want to have to wait. I think they want to be playing constantly. So if your health regenerates automatically, you can just stay in the action. You don't have to go find a health pack somewhere on the map or pick up an item that will give you your health back, or play more defensively because you took a lot of damage, try to back up a little bit. They want you to always feel like you can just run around willy-nilly being in the combat. If you die, hey, guess what? You can come right back, buddy. It's all about the score of the deathmatch rather than playing with a team and completing objectives together. And I think that's the biggest flaw in gaming that I see. I think that's a big mistake, and obviously people like it, but I think it takes a lot away.
A lot of run and gun, run around and try and shoot people. It's more individual. Like, you can sort of dominate on your own. You don't need to go around with a team and strategically. But oftentimes in those kind of games, in death matches, the more coordinated teams will just wreck everybody. So that's not necessarily totally true. But in a lot of cases, it devolves into whoever has the best reflexes and plays the game the most, and just runs around and kills everybody.
And speaking of timers, by the way, because this is actually really it's relative to deathmatch mode, because that's a timer. It's a timer-based mode where whoever has the most kills by the end of 10 minutes is the winner. So it's a big rush to run around killing the most people to be at the top of the scoreboard by the end of 10 minutes. And I find that even makes it even worse in terms of mindless play. It's just like run and gun, just kill whoever you can. I remember playing Titanfall for a very brief time, and that's what it was. Anytime I died, I got shot in my back by somebody who respawned behind me. Or anytime I killed somebody, 80% of the time, they weren't even looking at me. I just pop them. They're not paying any attention to me, and they die.
Yeah,
I feel like that's how it is in a lot of these games. But I feel like that's the same thing is probably true of COD Online. I feel like most of your kills that you get are probably people that don't even notice you were there, and you're just getting shot in the back all the time. And most of the kills that you achieve are people that you shoot in the back. Because Titanfall and COD, I think they played very similarly, except for the big-ass mechs.
Titanfall got hyped up a lot, and I know it was, because basically Titanfall definitely seemed more like a console shooter to me, because it was an Xbox One exclusive, but it also came to PC, obviously, to Origin. But anytime I notice that you are interested in a game like that, I know that it's got a lot of marketing behind it, because I didn't think you were gonna really enjoy that game, honestly. And
I thought that I had the potential to. I thought that I played the beta. I was excited to play the beta, and I thought that it played really well. The parkour in the game felt awesome. The mechs in the game felt really cool and weighty, and I think there was a lot of things that were successful about it. But I think the biggest drawback was that they focused on deathmatch style combat. And that's really what the focus of the game was. It was that you spawn in a circular map where you have to just kill the most people by the end of a timer, and that's how you win. The only mode that wasn't a deathmatch was kill the other team's mechs, and that was just I don't know, stupid.
Yeah, they added a lot of not a lot, but the typical game modes they added. They tried, but it just, I don't know, something was missing.
That's part of the reason I love Left 4 Dead 2 so much, is that objective-based games, where the objective oriented, you're supposed to work with a team to accomplish an objective, not just kill the other team. I like games like that, where even if you're behind on kills and the other team's killing you more, you can still win the game because you're playing with your team better and working toward accomplishing the objective in a different way. I think that's interesting. And I think that the best games that I've always liked, and I think a lot of the best competitive games that are in open settings like that are games with an alternate objective other than just kill the other team. And I think a lot of modern shooters are all about, all right, here's the death match, you got a time limit, just kill the other guys. Whoever you fit the most kills, you win. And people just love taking screenshots. I was 35-6. I'm the top COD boy. And they post it on their Facebook, and that's what everyone's into anymore.
Yeah, it's just a chest beating contest, you know. It's not as fun, and that's why I got away from those kind of games. I like to play games with other people mostly now.
Yeah,
The only
and
really
those games are
competitive game I'm
essentially-
still into is Smash. Everything else I just prefer cooperative play. Survival-based matches are fun to me.
And
Games that are
Smash-
still challenging, but they require teamwork and multiplayer, you know.
Yeah, for sure. But Smash doesn't meet any of those pitfalls that we were talking about. Smash is a timer. Do you not like Smash's timer?
No, not at all. I mean,
It's
in
healthy
that game
though.
it makes sense.
Oh, so you don't mind it? You think it's a good thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it
maybe
prevents
timers.
people from just standing back the whole time, and which unfortunately still happens in this new Smash game because it rewards defensive play a lot. I think people like to sit back and just sometimes they can have success, particularly in like a laggy match. They'll sit back and just spam projectiles, run around, jump to the other side of the stage, and it becomes a mess. It's a real shame.
Yeah, I mean, but we watched Evo and we saw a player playing super camp. It was Hungrybox actually, an acclaimed player camping the shit out of somebody with Jigglypuff on the ledge. So I mean, it's in both games, but I think it's less prone to happen in Melee because it's faster. Like if somebody's trying to run from you the whole time, you run faster too, so you have a better chance of catching them and like punishing them for trying to run. So everything comes out quicker.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do not like campy players at all in games. I'm always an aggressive player, and I'll usually I need to adapt a lot to campy players because I'll play into them a lot because I want to play aggressively and I want them to play aggressively. And when they're not playing aggressively and they're just sitting there waiting for me to come at them to punish me, I'll usually play into it because I'm like, oh well, that's how I want to play the game. I want to play it fast paced, aggressive, lots of action, not like slow poking at each other forever. So I have to adapt my style of play to have less fun with the game because somebody else is playing campy, which is unfortunate. I don't like that. Don't be a campy player.
It's satisfying though if you're able to thwart that kind of play.
It's a satisfaction that's more like an FU satisfaction, like eat a dick satisfaction. Not like, oh, that was a really fun game. Like, it's not like the satisfaction like, oh, that was a really fun game. Well played. We had a good time playing that game. It was more like a fuck you. I won. I hate you. You suck. And you're still kind of bitter about it by the end of the game. You're not even like, you didn't really even have that much fun. You're like, that wasn't even fun, but I beat your ass anyway. So I'm satisfied, even though I'm not happy.
Counterpoint. What about if you spike them twice? Like
Well, if
you
I
get
spike
into
them
a combo
twice,
the second time and you just combo them and you spike them off the stage and they don't know what hit them.
I'm gonna be smug as hell if I do that.
Well, speaking of like alternative modes of play and like camping, like you've played Dota a lot, right, Young?
Yeah.
So, what is your opinion on ratting? Surely you don't enjoy that. You don't enjoy playing that or playing against it, right?
Well, I got two things I gotta say here. One, something happened to your microphone. It sounds like you're inside of a tin can all of a sudden. Did you notice that as well?
Is this better?
Yeah,
you
much
gotta
better.
get closer to the
Sorry.
microphone there.
Were you leaning back in your chair like, oh yeah?
I was.
Okay.
You need to get one of these scissor arms so you can do that and it just gets right up to your mouth.
Yeah, put it right up to your lips. But in Dota,
Yeah,
in
unfortunately,
Dota and League, I'm
Oh,
sure
yeah,
this
okay.
exists in League for you guys who are familiar with the MOBA genre. There's a style of play that you would call ratting. I think that's probably generally the same across all the games. But basically, you're avoiding the other team as much as you can while you just try to kill their base. So you keep avoiding fights while somebody is always working toward killing the base. And to answer your question, I find that to be really annoying. I don't think it's fun at all. I think it just ruins the entire game when people do that. It's a legitimate style of play. If you're playing to win, fine. I mean, it makes sense. In the competitive scene, people are aware of that, and they're aware of teams that can do that, and they'll try to pick around it or play around it. so it becomes more easy to counter. But when you're playing like more casually, or basically it's more casually, and if somebody tries to do that, they're just trying too damn hard, and they're making the game fun for nobody by doing that.
You know what I really like to do? I'd really like to go to one of these big, gigantic championships, like esports championships, even if it's something like Dota. I have no idea what's going on. I'd love the experience to just see what it's like to watch like these people play in person on gigantic TV screens. Especially like Evo, we couldn't do because it's in California. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like it would be fun, but I
For a
feel like
couple
it's probably
drinks.
not as fun as you might think it would be, unless you were watching something that you cared about and you could get really into.
Yeah, like Evo would be awesome, I think. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, the thing about it too is that like, you hear the crowds cheer only when something really cool happens. Otherwise, they're pretty quiet, and like people don't. I don't know. There's not a lot of energy, especially with more introverted, nerdy people. They're not like out there and like, yeah. And like, for instance, I went to the Renaissance Fair, and we talked about this last podcast, I think, didn't we? But anyway, I went.
No,
Oh, we didn't. Anyway, there was I said I was going to talk about that this podcast, but I'll probably save it for next time because I don't know how much time we have.
we're running out
But
of time here.
yeah, so I'll save it. But there was a chess match where these guys were fighting. They've got all this choreographed combat and stuff, and I'm sitting there and I'm yelling things every once in a while, like, "Oh, decapitate him!" And I'm like, I'm into it. I'm having fun. But nobody else is saying anything. It's all these like nerdier people that are like, "Oh, I'm uncomfortable in social situations. If I yell something, people might judge me." So, and I feel like the same thing could be true of video game conventions or
I think it's
tournaments.
it's a little bit better though.
It's probably a little bit better, yeah.
It's not the same, and you have to think about it because you're used to, maybe you're not used to it, but usually you have sporting events like big, like the Super Bowl, or any football game, National Football League game. Everybody's trashed, drunk in the stands, and they're there. They paid out the ass to see the game.
Do you think that's what
And-
Evo is like?
No, that's what I'm getting at. Is if there was more alcohol involved in these things, there would be much more noise, much more noise in the crowd.
Absolutely.
It's a big reason for why there's so much crowd noise at sporting events. It's
Except
just
for
so
at Evo.
much alcohol involved.
I feel like if you brought alcohol to Evo, it'd just be like a lot of memery in the audience. Like a lot of nerds being like,
Get wrecked!
this kind of stuff they
It'd be
shout instead.
insufferable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've noticed that when I go to like a Flyers game or an Eagles game. I'm a big Philadelphia fan. For those of you out there who care about that stuff, I'm a big Eagles fan here, big Flyers fan. I've noticed when I go to those games, I get much louder when I've had a couple of beers, and that's just the big X factor. I don't know if they sell alcohol at those things. Like if at Evo, I'd assume. I mean, it's like a casino.
They probably
But-
don't have a license to distribute alcohol at those.
They have a casino, but I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, you're right. They might. They do Evo at a casino, but I don't know what the rules are as far as like, oh, that's a big convention sort of deal or a big event. I don't know
Yeah.
if they need some kind of permission to have alcohol there.
I'm not
But-
sure.
And it definitely gets louder for certain games. Like Street Fighter gets the crowd probably gets their most raucous
Most raucous.
crowd attends Street Fighter, the main event.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think it could be fun, and I would like to go. And I've talked to you about this before, and you do nothing but avoid me on this. But I think that soon, probably PAX East, since it's closer to us, is that we need to start to go to these gaming conventions, and we need to buckle down, print out some business cards, put them in our fanny packs. I've got to go to some of these gaming conventions. I want to get skin tight. Those suits, those like skin tight, colorful things that people wear now. Like sometimes they're like sporting events and stuff. You know what I'm talking about? The bodysuits.
Yeah, like Green Man.
Yeah, like Green Man. But I want John and I to get one of those each, and I want to have the green toad color and the blue toad color, and I'll sew these little toad eyes to the top of it, off the top of our heads, and I'll cut little holes out for our faces right in the middle. We're not going to have the face covered, have our faces coming through. It's going to be real cute looking. And John and I both wear those to represent Multitoad to these different gaming conventions. We go there, we hand out business cards, we talk to people, maybe bring a little camcorder, try to get some interviews. Think that could be fun.
It's just called it camcorder.
And you do nothing but avoid me on these suggestions. I think you feel a little bit embarrassed. You'd feel embarrassed to put on the Toad suit, wouldn't you?
I have a
Doesn't even
question.
exist.
If somebody held a gun to your head and said, dress up as one character for cosplay, who would you choose?
Why did they have to put a gun to my head?
if okay, say there was
saying
no
that you
gun
have to.
involved, but
Right.
you just have to.
I don't
Or
know.
they're gonna shoot you.
It's to cosplay. I went to Comic-Con as Funky Kong. Do I have to be an anime character?
No.
Well, I've already done that. I did
Okay,
Funky Kong.
Who is Funky Kong?
He's Donkey Kong's cousin. He's cool. He's got glasses. He got sunglasses on. He wears a bandana on his head. He got some real cool shorts.
Okay.
All right,
How
so
about you, John?
what if you had a gun to your head and they said you have to dress up as one of the girls from Sailor Moon? Would you do it, or would you say shoot me?
No, I'd
Shoot
do
me
it.
now.
I would do that. I'd do that for fun.
Well, that's telling, isn't it?
No, you asked this question, so I'm curious who you would dress up like.
I legitimately do not have an answer.
You don't have an answer?
Let's hear John's answer, and then I will come up with an answer.
Okay.
I would love to be Bowser.
You'd be
Or
Bowser?
Blast Toys.
So a giant turtle of some
I
sort.
bet it doesn't really make sense for my body shape, but
I know-
I'd still like to do it.
I've always wanted to go
I like to have real squirt guns in the Blast Toys cannons,
real squirt
and I'd
guns.
blast people with this squirt guns.
Yeah, you don't think that would irritate anybody?
And I'd have the ability to attach hoses to my body and blast people like Blast Toys would.
And after you
In
did that,
real
would you
life.
say, "Blast Toys"?
Yeah, and
Then you'd hope they'd be like, "Haha, that's funny," and they wouldn't punch you in the face.
yeah, you go like around like in Comic-Con and just go like say it for like a half an hour around like the same group of people, so they aren't like completely unsuspecting, and then all of a sudden the last time like, Blast Toys, and you actually shoot them with the water. I think
feel
they'd
like-
be very angry.
I feel like you would get away with it though. I don't think anyone there is confrontational enough to try to start a fight with you at Comic-Con or
Yeah,
anything
unless
like
you
that.
like ruin someone's cell phone or something.
Yeah, even then they probably get the heck, man. This is my Goku costume. I spent 20 hours stitching this thing together.
Blast Toys?
They need to stay
Just
completely in
walk
character.
away like confused. Blast
Just
Toys?
shrugs. I've always
And no, you can be behind me. You can be my Pokemon trainer, and you can be like, "Good job, Blast Toys! You got him! Let's go, buddy!" And that'll be great.
that would be great. I don't feel like you would ever actually do that though. I think that's a fantasy of yours. I don't think you'd ever go
It's
through
just
it.
like the trolls thing. I don't know if we could do that.
I think the Blastoise thing's more reasonable because it's more of like a prank. With the troll thing we were talking
It's
about,
genuinely mean. Like
we
you're
were talking about
around-
going to the Renaissance fair, like painted up like old school trolls that would be under a bridge and popping out and doing some new school trolling with the old school trolls and be like,
Ah, nice costume, idiot. Where'd you get that? The Halloween adventure bargain bin?
and, like running away and making them just like feel terrible. Then
I
the
would do
employees
that.
would start.
I am available.
I feel like that you would do that.
Oh man.
Yume is sometimes manic with his. He seems like either a complete normal guy or a complete weirdo. It goes one way or the other.
What?
That's you. That's just what you are. The last time I was
Okay.
at the Renaissance Fair with Yume, like the whole time he's kind of like he's not super into anything. Not to say that you weren't having a good time, but you weren't like cheering at crowds and stuff. The occasional cheer or jest may appear, but what I'm getting at here is that Yume, for the most part, appears as a completely normal dude at the Renaissance Fair. And then toward the end, there's something called the Dragon Parade, where everyone walks and shouts "Dragon, Dragon, Dragon." But while they're explaining all this, Yume, behind everybody, he has climbed up into a tree. Nobody saw him do this. He's crouched in the tree like a gargoyle. And while the guy is still explaining, he's like, "So what we're all gonna do is we're gonna shout dragon as he's going." Then Yume just goes, "Dragon!" And he starts shouting dragon from this tree like a complete lunatic. I'll never
Did
forget
everybody
that.
else join in with him? Or
No,
were
everyone
they
just like
totally
looked at him like,
freaked
"Who
out?
the hell is that dude in that tree?"
So it wasn't like everybody was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, he did not incite the crowd to like, "Yeah, follow that guy." There's
Well,
like,
now,
who
what
the-
did he do after this? Did he stay up there and just like stay in character, or did he like sheepishly like, "Okay, sorry guys"?
No, I think he stayed crouched in the tree for a while. He didn't continue shouting dragon from the tree, but he was just crouched there.
No, I
observing.
continued shouting dragon puppets from outside of the tree.
Yeah, but dragon, yeah. And so after we got down from the tree, we did continue shouting. So But that's always how I've known Yume. He's either like bipolar with being like a regular guy and a completely fucking weird dude, which I appreciate about you. By the way, Yume, it's a compliment.
Why, thank you, sir.
But
There you go.
if I were to ever, I have a thing about crappy looking costumes and like intentionally poor looking cosplay, where that I think is hilarious, and it also costs a lot less money because you either have to go super lazy, like intentionally lazy, or you have to have a really good looking costume. Otherwise, you look like an idiot. If you try and you don't hit the mark, you look like a goddamn buffoon. It's gonna go all over Google Images. People are gonna see you. They're gonna be posting it, making funny on forums. Ah, look at this guy tries to dress like Goku. He looks like a lanky, stupid nerd, though. Whereas if you intentionally make yourself look like a really crappy Goku, it just becomes funny and it's a joke, and everyone sees it like John and I went to a Halloween party once as X-Man and X-Man and Wolverine. We went as Wolverine and Cyclops, but we intentionally had really crappy costumes, and it was funny. People enjoyed it, and I enjoyed dressing up like that. And it cost me nothing.
Yeah,
we just had to buy a yellow T-shirt and a blue T-shirt.
I made the Cyclops red visor eye thing with a wheat thin box, and I colored some Scotch tape red, and I put it over my eyes like glasses.
Yeah, and it was funny. It looked funny. There's pictures of it on Facebook.
Yeah,
if you guys,
Yugzilla had, cutlery attached to his fingers.
Yeah, I duct taped plastic knives to my hands. I sort of spiked my hair back like Wolverine, looked like a complete bozo. I'd used tape on a yellow shirt to like make the X symbol.
And that was nothing compared to one of the costumes I remember seeing at your brother's party. It was just some guy, and he had white gym shorts like rolled up and tucked up to look like a diaper, and he was like, "I'm Tommy Pickles." I'm like, that's so bad.
Yeah.
And then one guy just came in like super cool dude with a leather jacket on, and those like his
the
hair
other
slicked
Wolverine?
back. He was
Yeah,
like,
it's like-
"I'm Wolverine."
This handsome
I'm
stud
Hugh
thinks he's
Jackman.
like the hottest guy there, and
It was
he
like
rolls up
clearly
in
someone
there.
who's like, "What do I be? I don't want to be someone lame, because then people won't think I'm cool. I'll just be Hugh Jackman's Wolverine." And like he shows up looking like a bro with just like a leather jacket on, like I'm Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, and next to me, it's like this guy clearly like wasn't like taking it very seriously, and you're like trying to look cool, and you just look like a bigger idiot next to another Wolverine who's like, "This is a joke. It's Halloween. It's a fucking party, you idiot."
Yeah.
But
Party
if I had
etiquette.
if I had a dream anime, a dream cosplay that I could do, that I could actually do like looking good. The problem with good looking cosplay is you've got to spend a decent amount of money on good materials and props to actually look decent. But if I could look like Guts from Berserk and like I had to like work out, get fucking jacked up, and like look super cool, I'd go to a convention and I would be like the coolest guy there.
Yeah, I mean the best ones
In his
obviously
demon
before.
armor?
Yeah, no. I wouldn't want to go with that. I don't like the full suits armor. I would want to do just like conventional Guts, with the gauntlet hand and all that.
Okay.
Or like I wish I was a jacked up dude. If I was a jacked up dude, I'd go to anime conventions more and like be like Goku, and like you would like have all these little scrawny nerd Gokus around. Like, yeah, look at you with your wimpy arms. And you just like show off your biceps. Like, this is what a real Goku looks like.
Just bust out a Kamehameha for him.
Yeah, you just like you'd be a lot of fun. But if I don't hit the mark and look as good as I feel like you're supposed to look to cosplay like that,
You feel bad about
Okay.
yourself the whole time. You don't have a good time, right?
yeah, right. I'd rather either. So that's why I kind of like hitting the balance of doing the joke cosplays where I'm not trying to look awesome. I'm trying to look kind of silly, and that works out for me.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's a good place to wrap it up, I think, for today. So, thank you so much for listening. And
Oh,
this
yeah.
has been John
Episode
Dracula
9.
Warlewski, Blake, aka Gummels, and my special little man, Yogzula Evangelist.
Yogzula Ventriest. You're not saying my last name correctly.
Ventriest? Ventriest?
It's Von Trieste.
Oh, look. Ventriest. Something like that.
Thank you.
All
Yeah, I
right.
like that.
See you around.
See you around, folks.
See you around, Toads and Toadettes.